Back on the boxing grind, it's your boy CJ Goodfella. Video request, shout out to Andre Joseph. I know you've been waiting. I know a lot of people waiting. I'm trying to get to them. There's been a lot of information and a lot of videos, to do since the Brandon Rios fight, man. Since Friday, since the ESPN card. So I'm getting to them, and I haven't even been able to do the blast for the past yet. And I got a special video coming today. I got a live stream I'm bringing on with some new guy. He's not new. He's new to you guys on this channel. But we do live today, probably live this afternoon. And I got a special video coming today. And when you know it, I'll let you know when I drop it. Something that people have been asking for and waiting for. And I usually don't do this type of video now. And only one person knows I'm doing it, unless you write the comment. But, Andre want to know, what's the likelihood that Keith Thurman, faces Devon Alexander, which I'm going to switch up the question, which is the likelihood he faced Devon or Victor Ortiz. And the possibility is very, very high. I believe he's going to face Victor Ortiz. And we talked about this on a live stream. So a lot of the brothers that caught the live stream, me and Money Brown TV did, I think it was Monday. You already know where I'm headed with this at. But I elaborate a little bit more. And I believe that Devon Alexander would make sense. He's fighting out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Keith, wants to tune up. Devon isn't a big puncher. He kind of is tailor-made for Keith. But he's tough. He's tough, and it'll be a tougher fight than Victor Ortiz right now. I say that. And they both fight down in Florida now, so that can make it an easy fight to make it in Florida. Even though Keith isn't a draw in Florida, like Terrence is in Nebraska. And we'll see what type of draw Errol Spence is in Dallas, Texas. I plan on being down there June 16th as soon as he secured a date with Ugis or whatever opponent he chooses. Waiting on Carlos Ocampo, I guess. So yeah, Devon is more of a risk. Obviously, everybody seen Devon beat Victor Ortiz. It was a majority draw. And I stopped scoring. People that was on the live chat, we was live scoring and doing live commentary, which we will get back to doing that next week. God willing, with Ortiz and Wilder. And I do Sullivan Barrera as well, and Demetrius Bivol, and then I hop back over to the Premier Boxing Champions card. I believe Barrera and Bivol is more important than any other card on any other fight on that card besides Wilder and Ortiz. It may be more exciting and more important than that fight, but we explain that later. But yeah, man, Victor Ortiz is probably gonna be the guy that Keith Thurman fights. We talked about reading between the lines, and Keith Thurman said that his management team hasn't got any opponents, and said this week they'd be looking for opponents. In my opinion, I could be wrong reading between the lines. I think that means it's between Devon and Victor. Both of them not in the top 10. Well, Devon slid into the top 10 of the IBF. He's number 6. Obviously, he's held the IBF title, so he has some clout. But he don't plan on fighting anybody in the top 10 of the WBC or the WBA is probably what he mean. So, both of them not in the top 10. And he considered him a tune-up. Both, coming off, long layoffs, and Victor Ortiz, on and off. Devon Alexander, 2 years off. Just fought the second fight after 24 months off. Keith Thurman only fighting once a year. But, to be honest, it's going to be Victor Ortiz, in my opinion. That's why the draw was so important, to make it seem like Victor Ortiz was back. I think the way Victor Ortiz fought, with a lot of heart, with a lot of motivation, was that he was already told if he wins this fight, or whatever, it makes it close, he's going to get the Keith Thurman fight. You can get one last, decent payday. And when you go to Texas, which is baby Mexico, used to be part of Mexico, but for real. You about 2 or 3, 4, 5 points behind versus Mexican-American fighter. And Devon didn't go for the kill, so it might be an opportunity, passed up for Devon. But if you get injured or Carlos Ocampo says no and all that, Devon is number 6 at the IBF, so he can step in and face Errol Spence June 16th. But the one thing that I forgot the guy who brought this up, it might have been Vasquez. I can't remember his first name. Campo Vasquez. I think he said that. Shout out to him. Always, in the chat. I think he said that the turnaround was too quick for Victor Ortiz. So he said February, March, April. Yeah, it would be quick because Victor Ortiz suffered a mouse on his eye and a cut on top of his head. So they would have to adjust the Keith Thurman date for that, unless Victor heals up and he takes a quick turnaround, and that eye always swells. The left eye on Victor Ortiz. So it may be Devon Alexander. It might be an all-Florida fight, because that's what Devon is based out of now. He's from St. Louis. We all know that. And that's a good fight, but Victor Ortiz would be the ideal fight for Keith Thurman. Victor Ortiz is a bigger name than Devon Alexander. He been in there dancing with stars, been there with Floyd, been there with Donna, man, Alberto. I mean, he been through the ringer. And it'll be easier to fight for Keith Thurman. Because once Keith Thurman lands on Ortiz, he quitting. For real. He's due with real power. And I think if it goes quick, I mean, Keith Thurman, it was a waste of a tune-up. I think if he has a fight that's under 4 or 5 rounds, I think it was a waste of a tune-up. He needs to go rounds to see if that elbow is good. And then if he don't go rounds, and just that, you make a quick work of whoever he fight in the tune-up, then he gonna go in the next fight and he possibly could lose to Sean Porter. Say, oh, my elbow wasn't 100% healed. I didn't get the rounds I wanted to get. So you gotta look out for that. But if Devon don't get this fight, why not Devon versus Lamont Peterson? I mean, or Devon versus Andre Berto. That's a solid fight on the undercard of this card. Let me know how y'all feel, what y'all think. We out.